Hi everyone, welcome back to Financial Flamingo. Today I am getting my budgeting brain organized and I'm going to be sharing my overview with you guys in case you are getting started with your own debt-free journey. Alright, hi everyone. If you are new to my channel, my name is Allison. I started Financial Flamingo back in 2019. I have been kind of back and forth on my channel, but I am restarting my debt-free journey here. I have actually paid off quite a bit of debt, so I know my process actually works, but I'm going to get my brain organized today with all of my things, and I wanted to share an overview of that with you as well in case you are starting your debt-free journey or getting your financial life together. If you want to follow along with my journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think down in the comments. So we're going to kind of just talk through my process, my paycheck routine, and what I'm going to do to hold myself accountable, kind of motivate and encourage myself to save money and pay off debt. So I am paid bi-weekly, and the two main things that I do when I get paid are do my budget, set up my spending trackers, and figure out what cash I need in my wallet. So this is my budget binder. I actually created this budget binder back in like 2020, but it needed a refresh, especially for going into 2026. So I actually, this past weekend, updated this. I'm going to be going beige instead of this blue color for 2026. So if you want to check out this binder, you can find the link down below. It is in my shop. But what I do before I get paid, so I get paid on Fridays, I get paid bi-weekly. I will come here to set up my trackers once I've done my budget. I actually don't do my budget in here. I do my budget on a spreadsheet. So I will put an image up here so that you can see that. I need each of my paychecks for the month side by side so that I can make sure I meet the deadlines on my bills, I get things paid on time, and that I allocate my money properly between paychecks. That's just the only thing that's ever worked for my brain. So that is what I use. This spreadsheet is also in my shop for free. If you want to check it out, it'll be linked down below as well. Once I have my budget done, there's two things that I do. First, I come over here to my budget binder and I set up my spending trackers. So this is the main reason why I created my own budget binder, because I haven't really seen anybody else track their spending like this, but this is just the only thing that has worked for my brain. So I set up a little spending tracker for every single category of my budget. So these are the variable spending things. So I have my little cheat sheet of all of my different budget categories and what color highlighter they are. So you can see I've got groceries, gas, pets, eating out, spending, beauty, miscellaneous, and coffee this time around. This just works better for me. Here's a good example here. So I budgeted for my paycheck to have $40 budgeted for pets. I spent $57.69. So I've overspent $17.69. But up here, I budgeted $300 for groceries. So far, I've only spent $153.95. So I have $146.05 left. So being able to see what I've overspent, what I haven't spent all of yet, kind of helps me even out my budget. And that way I just know across all of my spending what I have left. It just works better for my brain. I do have a spending tracker in here for our joint account because sometimes we do spend out of our joint account. That's the main account we use for bills. We don't spend a lot of actual spending out of that. But I do want to have a tracker in here just in case, because sometimes it does get a little confusing with money being transferred in and out and whether it was spent or if it was just being transferred or what's going on. So I did just recently add this so I can track our joint account as well. The other thing that I do whenever I am setting up my budget before I get paid is I figure out my cash denominations. So this is my cash wallet. I recently switched to this one because I wanted to use these little envelopes that I made because I just like to switch it up, honestly. I wanted to use this little Mo term again. I go back and forth between this and this style of wallet that has zip around and different kinds of envelopes. I'm actually planning to start making my own envelopes because I just want to be able to have fun ones for fall and Christmas and all of that. So I switched up to these just because I wanted something neutral. But I will go through my budget, figure out what I want to be in here in cash. These are my normal categories. So I've got coffee, I've got eating out, spending, nails, household, beauty, which is really just haircuts, miscellaneous, and then back to bank. So those are the main things that I pretty much always just get cash. And then I do have a travel one that I will put travel money from our travel sinking fund in here, but I only put that one in here for like on a little trip. Once I've figured out what breakdown I want, I will fill out this little teller slip. I really like these because I can just print as many as I want. I just keep them. I keep some in here. I keep some in my budget binder just so that I always have them. I do have a cash breakdown worksheet as well, but I, for some reason, don't have any printed in October. So I will put up a picture on the screen showing you guys kind of how I do that process. So let's say that I want to have $20 for coffee. I'll figure out, do I want 2 10s? Do I want 4 5s? Do I just want a $20 bill? And I will put that on my cash breakdown. And then I'll go through and figure out the same thing for eating out. How much do I have budgeted? What denominations do I want to use? And then at the end, I'll add that up and I'll go, okay, I need this many 1s, this many 5s, this many 10s. And then this is what I hand the teller at the bank to get my cash out. And then on Friday, when I actually get paid, I will go down to the bank, usually on my lunch break, get my cash out. And then when I get home for the day, I will cash stuff my wallet. So I will link a video of me doing a cash stuffing down below because I have done those on my channel before. And then I just make sure that my wallet is all set up for the week. And then if there's any extra money left when I get ready to do my cash stuffing, so let's say I'm going to do my cash stuffing today, there is money left in this envelope, I will take this money out and that will go into savings challenges. So I have 2 savings challenges that I'm currently doing. I like to do low denomination savings challenges because honestly, my normal amounts in my budget are $10 or $20 for coffee, $80 for eating out, $50 for spending, maybe $50 for nails. Household is usually only if we are like going to Lowe's or working on a project. Beauty might have $50 in it, and that's really it. So I don't have a ton of cash in my wallet at any given time. So I wanted low denomination savings challenges. So I really like this cat one. You can see I have been saving some money in this. So I like doing this. Anything that's left in my wallet when I'm getting ready to restuff will go into a savings challenge. So we're almost close, pretty close on this one. I don't have any specific goals for this savings challenge, but it's just a fun way to try to motivate myself to not spend money on things that I don't really need because I get to save it and put it in here. I will say I have a hard time finding low denomination ones that I like. So I've actually created some of my own. So I think in 2026, once I get this one done, I will be doing kind of some of my own. So hopefully that will be a fun little thing that I can, kind of set up my own little savings challenges for the goals that I want to reach as well. And then this is my other secondary kind of savings challenge. I just set this up, so this doesn't even have the trackers in it yet because I still need to laminate them. But this is my month ahead binder. So over time, I'm going to treat this like a savings challenge as well, where if I have extra money in my wallet, I will add it to one of these categories and update the tracker over time. So once I have the trackers, it'll make a little more sense because I'll know what I'll be saving in each of these envelopes. But I just set these up today because I wanted to start thinking about what was important to me in terms of long-term savings goals. And I would like to get a month ahead's worth of money saved up and in the bank for us so that we don't have to take money out of our emergency fund. We can kind of have more leeway on when we take money out for different bills and that sort of thing once we're a month ahead. So I will be putting trackers in here as well once I get those laminated, but I did make these little envelopes today. I really like the zip ones for savings challenges because you can put way more money in here without it like falling out or being an issue. They hold quite a bit in these little plastic ones, so I really like these. So one other thing that also happens every time I get paid is my sinking funds are direct deposited into my sinking fund checking account. So I don't cash stuff my sinking funds. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not consistent with it. I don't have the money on hand when I need it because it's in a binder at home. So keeping it in a bank makes more sense for me, and I have a separate debit card for these funds. So basically what happens is I have at the beginning of the year set up amounts I want to come out for my sinking funds of every single paycheck. For me right now it's $182. It's a breakdown between all these different funds, and then that gets direct deposited into my Capital One 360 checking, and from there I transfer the correct denominations into each of my different savings accounts for each of these different things. They're all named something different and they each have their own savings account. That way it's automated. I don't have to worry about it. I know it's there. I just transfer it to the right account. I can see the balance. I don't have to track the balance. I could just see it. I do track it on here, but I don't have to be as specific about every single cent because I know I can see the transactions in the bank. So that works better for me. Having a separate debit card for it just makes it easy. If we have an emergency vet trip, if I have to do car maintenance I wasn't planning on, it was just getting really inconvenient, like not having the envelope with me and then having to put money back and back to the bank and all of that. So I went back to my Capital One 360 accounts with the separate debit card. So that works really well for me. That is pretty much all that happens for my budget process. The budget happens on Thursday night. I update my spending trackers. I figure out what cash I need to bring out of the bank. Then I get paid on Friday. I get my cash out of the bank. I transfer my sinking funds, and then I only spend what I have in my wallet or what I have in my variable spending categories, and that's what I do. So hopefully that makes sense. It will probably make a little bit more sense as I show, my budget with me's and my cash stuffings and all of that. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like and subscribe if you want to come along on this journey with me for paying off my $60,000 of consumer debt. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!